Welcome, everyone, to Right Size Living, where recovery meets real life. From health and fitness to humor and hard-earned lessons, this is your space for honest conversations, personal stories, and tips to thrive in every aspect of life. Whether you're in recovery or just curious about living alcohol and addiction-free, you're in the right place. Let's dive into the journey together. Okay, here we are. Episode, 7? Welcome, everybody. So I guess we'll start by doing a little quick check-in. Do have a guest today. We'll introduce June in just a few minutes. Anthony will introduce her to everybody. My name's Sebastian. Welcome to Right Size Living. So I'll check in. Oh, hi. I will check in. I'm pretty stressed out. Got to be honest with you. I'm a 5. I've been working all day in the heat, in the sun. No complaints. I love the sun, but I am a little fried, and I was trying to do a bunch of stuff while at work. And then I thought I was done, and my boss is like, "Hey, did you upload all your pictures to our server, back in Portland?" I'm like, "Oh no, can I just do that when I get home?" He's like, "No, you got to do it right now so they can start printing. Otherwise it's going to get all backed up." I'm like, fuck. So it's like over 1,000 pictures I have to upload to the server. And it was like 4:30. I wanted to drive all the way back home and, be in my house for this, but I'm at a rest stop next to a river, which is actually kind of nice. But the upload took 2 hours. So I was just sitting there, just watching the fucking upload go. 1, 2, 3. So that was pretty stressful. But here I am. I'm glad to be with you guys, and I hope I get better by the end of the show. Next. Who's next?
I
T-Bone.
guess I'll buy it. You want T-Bone or me, man?
Whatever.
Go, Brandon.
I'd say I'm a 8, 9. It's been a good day. I went to that meeting this morning and met a nice woman and introduced myself, and we're gonna go out to get coffee or go on a walk. It's something completely new to me. I mean, I haven't done that 16 years. So, and then worked and went to the meeting, and it was a good meeting.
I'll go. I'm at about like an 8 or 9, feeling pretty good. Sorry to hear about Sebastian, your day. Super excited to see. I got to see Brandon earlier at the Lana Club meeting. Same meeting to watch a friend take a coin, which was pretty swell. And then I get to hang out with June for a little bit, who is a dear friend of mine. So, and Jimmy missed you, but thanks for keeping my house nice and in order and cleaner than when I got back.
Thanks for letting me stay there, dude. That was amazing. Yeah. It's a nice spot.
Is it on me?
Sure. Go for it, Jim.
Yeah, you know what?
It's out of 10.
I am not comfortable with that situation. I feel like if I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be authentic, right?
Nice.
I'm going to be real.
I didn't like my avatar.
I didn't like my own. I didn't like, it wasn't yours. It was my own. No. So my buy-in is, I think on a 1 to 10, I was probably 9 when I got home. And then I kind of dropped down between a 7.5 and an 8. And that's just kind of my codependency, because my husband and I had a slight difference of opinion about a strategy about something. And I said, hey, could you, anyways, we had a difference of opinion about something. And then I noticed his tone change. And I'm at the point in my recovery where I kind of can breathe his air when his air isn't good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I told him the whole time I was doing this. And I was like, I'm going to go outside now. I'm going to go into my car. And I said, you seem a little pissy. Are you pissy? And he goes, a little bit. I was like, are you going to get over it? And he goes, yeah. I said, okay. And so it was all I could do to just kind of be like, you know what? That's his pissiness. It's not my pissiness. You know what I mean? I don't need to absorb all his shit when he's going through some shit. Because how he's carrying his resentments I got enough resentments I carry on my own. I don't need to be carrying his shit. So period. So actually, now that I've said that, I'm back to a 9.
Yeah. Okay. So do I still need to go? Probably, right?
Yep.
It's probably 7. Was really had a great weekend in Portland last weekend. It was really good to see Sebastian and Brandon and T-Bone. I really wish I would have been able to hang out with you, but we had a connection. I didn't sleep in your bed, so there's yeah. Don't ask. No,
Air,
it's you.
Airbnb, June.
Airbnb,
Airbnb, June.
Airbnb. Yeah.
Airbnb bone.
So, really cool. Thank you so much for letting me stay there. That it's a really nice place, and you saved me a bunch of money, and so I really appreciate you for letting me do that. But it was cool. I mean, I got to go out to hang out with I don't try not to mention names on here, but one of our mutual friends, right? And with his wife, and it was really good to see them and a couple other guys we do recovery things with. So yeah, it was cool. And yeah, so I'm probably a 7. I don't know. I should be higher like rated than that. Like but for whatever reason I just am a 7. So yeah. Yeah.
If it was raining, you'd be a 9, I'm sure.
I'd be a 9 if I've reverse seasonal affected disorder, so I'm a little down right now.
Yeah, you need a tan on those with those legs, man.
Yeah. I don't have nice calves like you, you know?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, let's introduce June. I'm just going to really quickly say a few things. June was a very critical person in my life. I think 3 or 4 years ago. Is that right? 3 or
Feels
4
like 20, but yeah, it's probably 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to meet this person trying to get sober. So actually, no, you know what? It would have been 2020. Yeah. COVID. Yeah. In an outpatient program, which was really good. Wasn't ready back then, but we maintained this like really amazing friendship, and I call periodically, actually probably too frequently, but get some really helpful tidbits of wisdom and recovery and experience. And I'm just super grateful to see your face. So June, maybe I guess how we typically do this is you kind of give us a little quick rundown of like what recovery is, like how you found recovery and what it looks like for you. And you know the deal, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I just had a birthday on 5/2, right? And it's my 1 year. But as I shared with Anthony, that's your name. As I shared with Anthony, I'm June. I'm an alcoholic, very much an alcoholic. I have a disease that will capture me and hold me hostage. And I don't like to be alone in my hostility, so I will hold you hostage. My story looks like this. He said that you guys do a buy-in and a cash out. And I said to him, I've been buying in for 16 years, and I've been winning and losing and winning and losing. And that dopamine hits, and then I just keep throwing chips in, and then I'll pull my chips out in a way that I'm just like, okay, I can do this now. I can do this now. And the problem has always been, I can do this now. And the reality is, I had a God. I've always had a God since I was 13, always had a God, but never had a God that I trusted. And so my mother didn't raise me to trust anybody. She said, you rely on yourself. She was a German immigrant, and she said, you got to do it yourself. It took a while for me to get it because I was in and out and in and out and in and out. And when people look at the people that are sitting in the room and they go, you know what? If you're here, if you're drunk, just keep coming back. I hated here and keep coming back, except that it was like a hypnotism for me. And I did keep coming back no matter what. And I don't know that even like a month would go by and I would still keep coming back. And I was still trying to burn my house down. I'm married with 3 kids, and I was a struggle for them. Forget the struggle for me. I was a struggle for them. I was fortunate to have a job where I was so good at it an A+ performer that in the worst part of my addiction, I hate to say that, but it was still okay to be a B- performer. And then I would graduate myself back up to like wobble between A- and B+, B+, that part. And I just, I finally had to let go of needing to understand. I wanted to be that intellectual alcoholic, you know what I mean? I wanted to understand how it worked. And that's what would happen when we were at rehab, right? I would go to rehab and they would explain all the technical stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it now. I get it now. And even the big book says, there are these people that need to understand the intellectual. And Bill's like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. That's not the deal, though. The deal is the combo. You can't just be full off of one taco. You need a taco and a burrito. So the combo that I needed was I needed to understand, but then I also needed to understand that I needed to be able to let go of the notion that I was going to be able to understand. And I know that sounded like a math problem, and I don't do math in public, but I needed to be able to let go of the idea that I was going to be able to understand it all the time. I just wasn't going to. And when I was able to then turn over, and I hate that phrase too, oh, he's turned it over. He's turned it over. Fuck you people, you weak ass bitches. Why are you turning shit over? But wait a minute. Hold on. God is what? Everything or nothing. I hate that phrase too. But that one kind of sat with me a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. Maybe he is everything or nothing. What does that mean, everything or nothing? That means that my dude, because my dude is like this big black, got an afro, big chain, dashiki wearing. That's what my guy looks like, of course. And I'm like, he's going, Pamela, you don't need to struggle like this. I mean, if you want to struggle, my girl, struggle all you want to, but I got you. When you're ready to let me help you, I've got you. And I was like, wait a minute. Shaft could help me out. You know what I'm saying? Shaft could help me out. And so when I decided to be like, hey, Shaft, I'm struggling in this meeting that I feel like I'm less than to even be at the table at. Could you help me out? And I remember the first time I did that. And I walked into this meeting and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to fucking say right now. I'm not worthy to be in this room. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what it was influential and important because the words just came tumbling out as they needed to. And I got up and I walked out and I was like, okay, Shaft, I think you and I could do some business together. And no joke, no lie. I'm being fictitious a little bit right now, but to be honest, letting somebody else that is bigger and badder ass than I think I am has been what's worked for me. Like there's a bad boss bitch out there, and I am she, don't get me wrong, but there's a bigger bad boss bitch out there. Bigger than me, way bigger. And why wouldn't I want to lean in on her? Why wouldn't I want to lean in on him to go, you know what? I'm not sure about this situation right now. These guys look like they're being devious and skeptical and whatever. Is that my business to figure out? I put God on the case. Do I still want to understand every little thing, little minutia? Do I still lay up in the middle of the night and take Chat GPT and go, here, Chat, here's books 1 through 5. What's going on between the big book and the Bible? I need you to give me a spreadsheet so I can. Yes, I still do that at 2:00 in the morning, like this, like underneath the covers. I'm underneath the covers, and I'm just like, shh, Chad, be quiet. Just you. And Shaft says, you know what, Pamela, if you need to do that, do that. But you don't need to sell people on recovery. You just need to behave in a way like you're recovered. I was like, okay, Chef. All right, I see what you're doing here. Now, this is what I do agree with. 1000%, it takes me falling down, bumping my head, bumping my knee, breaking my pinky toe. Have you ever broken your pinky toe? I don't think you have. Broken your pinky toe and then had to put a high heel pump, a 4-inch pump on to go to the business meeting? You've never done that. I've had to do that. I don't need to do that anymore. Pinky toe, I'm like, oh, gonna get a splint. Gonna take care of myself now. I just don't need to be that person that needs to be everything to everybody. and I don't need to over care. Even with Anthony, to be honest, I have over cared with him. Drove the getaway car because I thought I wasn't even thinking I'm an alcoholic. What a great idea to drive the getaway car to get his child out of somebody else's custody. That's delicious. And it was fabulous. And then I literally took him and his child to a hotel where there was a shootout across the street. That made it even more delicious. Did he tell you that part? I don't think he told that part. And I was like, this is what alcoholics do. And I'm in recovery. Okay. I'm in recovery in that moment. And that was even all that drama was a bit too much for me. And then afterward, I was like, I want to celebrate all this. And then drug my friend and back into my alcoholism. So we have seen each other at our absolute best, at our absolute worst. And I like that we're on the same place on the hamster wheel right now because we've been on opposite sides of the hamster wheel. But I love, 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 love myself some Anthony. And I hope we stay apart where people say, oh, if God willing, God's always willing, right? Now that part I agree with too. God's always willing. We just need to be willing to do the deal. Yeah. If you guys have questions, I got answers. And my answers got answers. So shoot.
Where's she been, Anthony? You haven't you should have introduced us to her earlier.
I should have. Yes. So Pamela,
Good stuff.
so I found a really good group of guys in Portland here.
Where are
And
they?
this really-
Are they better than us?
Yeah, dude.
Where'd they go?
Whoa.
Where they hide?
What the fuck, dude?
Who are you talking about?
No,
I knew I shouldn't have gone into the basement. That's why.
yeah, no. So I mean, and we're kind of divulging a little bit about like how this all came about, what we're doing right now, this whole podcast. But like, I don't know, I feel lucky that I've met a group of degenerates who are now good guys, right, and good friends, in Brandon, James, and Sebastian, and we're part of like a larger group, and that's kind of like how I got really in my right spot on the hamster wheel right now, right? Was through these guys and kind of doing this whole deal together. So that's, I mean, when I talk, Pamela, to you about like the guys in Portland, like these are the guys I'm referring to, you know?
Pamela, do you live in Oregon or you live in California?
I'm in California.
Oh, okay.
So I did go to Washington State for a hot minute.
Go Cougs.
Huh.
Yeah, dude. I was on the Palouse too. I went to U of I.
Mm.
So I spent a lot of my using career was in Pullman, actually, or a part of it at least. Yeah, they're
The
known
good
for
years.
that. Yeah.
I'm joking.
So Pamela, do you like how maintaining your sobriety? I mean, what do you practice like to help maintain that? Like,
That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked that. I actually follow people that tell me the fourth step for a long time because I'm doing it with a sponsor who she's got a new sponsor. And I didn't realize, nor did I know to ask about a PG sponsor like Pacific Group. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pacific Group there, but Pacific Group in California is a much more I want you to think of alcoholism and recovery in the terms of Democrats and Republicans. So there's Democratic kind of low key recovery in California, and then there's the Pacific Group, which is like staunch right conservative, and they are a whole different beast. They're a whole different animal. And I didn't realize when I asked this really nice, sweet girl to be my sponsor that her sponsor was taught from the Pacific Group. So my four step in a way that is so tedious and so long. Going through the book has been ridiculous. I mean, it's been interesting, so deeply interesting. But to your point, I have a sponsor. The new schedule is going to be coming out soon in California where you get new commitments in June. So I plan to get a commitment in June. I am very active in my church. That's very important to me. I wake up in the morning and before I pick up my phone to look at anything else, I pick up my Bible. because when I pick up my Bible, that gives me 5 minutes. I don't do more than 5 minutes to get in alignment with my higher power. And when I get in alignment with my higher power in the first 5 minutes that my alcoholic and ADHD brain wakes up, then with that, that'll set the tone for me and how I'm going to approach everything else. So everything else is going to be seen through the lens of Shaft, right? And the lens of you're not supposed to be the person that solves all the problems. You can be a facilitator, you can be a mentor, you can be an instrument, but you are not the end all be all, Pamela. And if I pick up and I notice if I pick up the phone and try to check my stock and see what my stocks are doing, or if I check my phone and see who's touched me on LinkedIn or who's touched me on Instagram, my day goes different. My day goes in a different direction. I've done the experiments and my day goes in a different direction. If I get on the phone first and I listen to some scripture, and then I think about pages 86 and 87 right after that, how am I supposed to be setting the tone for my day? That makes a huge difference for me. And then at the end of the day, and I will pray throughout the day, but at the end of the day, I have a sleeve. I put a waterproof sleeve that I put on my iPhone, and I take it in the shower with me. And I don't shower by myself. I shower with, well, I mean, I shower by myself, but I shower with some instruction. Either I'm listening to those two old coots, Charlie and
Yeah. Joe and Charlie.
Joe and Charlie. Yes, Joe and Charlie. Oh, and I've got two circles of people that I'm in touch with on a daily basis. And if I were to be gone from that circle for more than Anthony, if I were to be gone for probably more than 48 hours, you guys would be like, oh shit, something's wrong, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're at least like 2 days would be a bat signal to say something's not right with this person. It's not that person's gone out, but it's definitely that something's not right there. So we need to check in. So I've got two circles of that. Anthony's part of one of those circles, and then I've got another circle of my Betty Ford people.
Yeah.
Because where Anthony and I went together was not my first or second or third rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a multiple institution fellow myself. I love what you said about your relationship with God. I mean, that's something that has really been coming to the forefront in my mind. And it's something that like always, like my ears, like they talk about, snap shut to the idea originally. Like it kept me away from doing all the things for a long time, right? Because it just, the whole notion of God, that word, it ignited something in me that just was like, nope, not my thing, right? But I think I got to a place of desperation to where I think that's why the whole thought that, desperation is a gift, right? Because I got to a place where I was just willing to do whatever it took. And then, from that place, I started to like just take suggestions from people that seemed to have some relief, right? And then that slowly built upon itself to where I could finally recognize that, like, yeah, dude, I have I'm of the variety of alcoholic / drug addict, right? That like, for me, if I don't have a spiritual solution, like, then I'm gonna use again. I'm gonna drink again, right? That's the only way for me, and the only way I'm able to maintain contact with that is by doing like what you just talked about, and something. I do daily things. Daily disciplines is kind of what the group of guys I'm around up in the Seattle area talk about, is doing daily disciplines, right? And those things every day keep me in a fit spiritual condition to where I don't even, some days are, better than others, but like my mind never goes to the thought that like, hey, I should go burn my life down again anymore, And so, but if I let up on those daily disciplines, right, then I start to lose that contact with my higher power, God, for me. But and then all of a sudden, those bad days, I start to maybe have old thoughts, and then maybe I don't use right away, but eventually, that's where the fuck it's come in. So it's an infinitely better, for me, at least. I mean, I just feel so much, more serene in general.
Have you ever had somebody call you that you didn't expect from recovery
Yep.
when you were thinking about relapsing and they just fucked up your relapse
Hmm.
because they called you in that moment, like, go, hey, let's go to me, or hey, how are you? And you're like, I'm trying to get a drink. And then this person calls and you're like, wow, that's deep.
I haven't, because like I think that when I was in that position of wanting to relapse, I was already so far gone that like I had not been doing the, like, I'd not been fellowshipping, I didn't have a community, right? That so yeah, like that hasn't happened for me. Anytime I've like been on the path to relapse, it's been like, I just don't answer to, is the other thing. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
Easy solution.
yeah.
It works, actually. It
If you
does.
don't answer, yeah.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Pamela, and not that that question was directed to me, but this is mine and
It was
Sebastian.
to all of you. It was to all of you. Actually.
This is mine and Sebastian's first time in recovery, so I haven't wanted to drink again since. I mean, there was one time a couple of months ago, I think, and I shared it on the cast, that I was taking a nap in the middle of the day and woke up in a complete panic, like I did when I first got sober, and it just brought the nightmare back again of me going through, withdrawals and the pain and just the anxiety and absolute fear. And there was nothing had happened other than me waking up, and I woke up in a panic. So, but yeah, this is my first time.
So you have a dose of fear.
What's that?
You have a healthy dose of fear.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's definitely keeping me from relapse. And I just, yeah, like Brandon said, my first time being sober, never been sober in my life. So no relapse in my story. The closest to a drink that I came, I was able to call somebody. So it was the other way around. I called somebody and talked to somebody before that happened. But no, I've never, and that was during a stressful situation. That wasn't like, oh, I want to go relapse. But to your point, Pamela, fear for me is the number one thing that's keeping me from taking a drink. There's no way I can go back to that old life. So
So Brandon and Sebastian, you both, I think, well, Pamela surmised it for Brandon, a healthy dose of fear, and then Sebastian, you explicitly stated fear. Like that fear is it's a motivator, right? It's a motivator for you guys to get out and do daily things, like have that daily discipline, go to meetings, work with your sponsor, call others, talk to your sponsees, whatever it might be. Because I like to like put things in nice, pretty boxes with a ribbon around it, like, and to surmise it all, like that fear is a motivator for you guys to like go do what we do on a continuous basis and what I see you guys do.
right.
So
I mean, for me, I mean, trust me, there's fear of going back, but the thing for me is I just feel fucking good, dude. I've never felt this good before, mentally and physically, and it's like addicting, man. Like going to meetings and being of service and just, I shared it in the meeting tonight, man. I gush over AA, man. I just feel fucking good. And, it's because of you guys and the other people at the Alano, and it's just, I don't ever want to go back to that. The amount of shit that I, put myself through when I drank, and I was able, like you, Pamela, and James is familiar with this too. Like I'm self-employed, and I was able to maintain my business, not at 100%, but I was able to do that well. So for me, it's kind of getting out in the weeds, but there was no like, hey, you need to go to AA. It was like this slow fucking burn. And then the last 5 months was after my mom passed away is when I fucking went, professional. And so, and I don't remember, I don't remember fucking, 3 of those months prior to me getting sober. So there's a lot missing where, that I don't know how I behaved. I have no idea how I was able to, for up until, June, I was still watching my kid. My wife, I think, had left prior to that, but we were kind of, when she would work, she would drop off my kid. So there's just like a huge fucking gap that I don't know. And that scares me. I mean, there's a lot of things that scare me, but the thing that really keeps me coming back is that I feel good. It feels good to help, to be of service to someone, to help, and it's just like I'm addicted to it.
I got a buddy that I've been going to meetings with up here and that I talk to pretty frequently, and he talks about catching a buzz from this deal,
Yeah.
and it's like, the whole program is kind of based off of like getting out of self, right? I guess. And so it's one of the many like contradictions that, like, Pamela, I'm the same way. I want to like intellectualize the whole thing. I want to like know what does it mean to turn it over. I share about that often. Like, what do I press a button? What's the functionality? And because I'll do that shit because it sounds good, but like the reality is like we're trying to be selfless. Like I'm trying to be selfless, but like in a selfish fashion overall, because it's like I wouldn't be doing this shit if I didn't feel good, right? If I just felt as shitty as I always did, then I would just go back to using.
Right.
To James's point earlier, and it's one of the phrases that, well, you said the fuck it's, you got to do all the work. What was the term you used with your buddies up north? You have to do
Daily disciplines.
daily disciplines. I like that because in order for me to not get the fuck it's, just like you said, I want to reiterate this, and because my personality my whole life has been a lot of fuck it, and I still work on it, so sober, like, oh, do I want to be productive or do I want to watch Netflix today? Fuck it, I'll watch Netflix. So I'm still working on it.
Do you
But
know what it is for me to be disciplined? I'm in the shower and our shower is glass, right? And I'm the one that bought the squeegee because I'm like, if you don't squeegee, you're going to get all the spots, right? Discipline is so difficult for me to scrape down the water and it's just two big giant panels. It's not like we don't have this big spatial ass spa, right? It's two panels. And there's days when I'm going, why do I have to do this? I shouldn't have to do. I shouldn't have to do this. My husband's gonna shower behind me. Why should I fucking have to do this? I pay people to do this. I don't have to fucking squeeze this goddamn window, motherfuckers. And then I get angry in the shower, and I'm like, bitch, you better squeeze that goddamn window before you go get a drink.
nah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's
Get a
the
goddamn window, Pamela.
it's the little things. Like,
Yep.
I mean, the first thing I do when I wake up is I make my fucking bed.
Yep.
Betty fucking Ford.
You
Betty
know?
fucking Ford taught me to make my bed every goddamn day.
It's just, you do these routines and for me, I haven't really been going to the gym that much the last few weeks, months because of work. And normally I would just beat myself up, and it's like, it's not like you don't want to go. You have to do this in order to do this, and I think early on in sobriety, like I just, it probably would have wrecked me, because it's like, no, I need to go there and get like manic about it. I need to be there and then just, have this mental tussle of why I can't go, and then, not actually complete the work or whatever, and the fucking day's gone. And I'm, it's just, I'm learning, to be patient with myself. And it's like, you'll get to it, man. You've got to do this in order to do that. And I mean, I'm just a very impatient person, and one thing that I've learned is of many is being patient and being patient with myself. So And, there's plenty, I've got fucking dishes that have been sitting in there. It's not a huge pile, but I'm like working and doing this stuff. And it's like, I'll get to it. I'm maintaining all this other shit and I can let that go because I'm doing this and then I'll get to it when I'm ready. And it's not, it's not going to fucking wreck me mentally.
Yeah, you're not just saying fuck it to all that stuff. It's just that,
Right.
your schedule is a little different right now and you're adapting,
Right.
going back to our change and transition podcast last week or the week before. You're getting
Plug.
better at change and transition and adapting to new schedules.
Careful though. You got to be careful not to co-sign bullshit. And
Yes.
that's where I think Anthony and I have been really good for each other, is because, it's very easy to love somebody the way that he loves me and the way that I love him. And to hear him say things and go, baby, I know what you've been through. It's been so hard for you. You should give yourself some slack. I don't think I've ever said those words to Anthony.
Yeah. And fucking James
He's heard more like, nigga, get your shit together.
James and T-Bone are fucking Captain Bring Down for me, man. They're just like, I call them the ninnies because they're fucking always trying to reel me in.
Captain Bring
The
Down.
ninnies.
We're just looking out for you, Bflo.
Dude, in all in areas that I don't need looking out for.
No, you need some looking out for.
Hey,
looking out for, my man. We all need looking out for.
you never know, man. If they could have let you just let you loose, man, where would you be now?
Yeah, scary thought there.
Yeah, who would know?
Oh, you missed the last podcast, Pamela, when James, corrects me on my behavior, he'll give me an example of his past behavior. You don't want to hear it.
No. It's a PG podcast.
Yeah.
PG.
Is it PG? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But wait, so Sebastian, I don't know, Sebastian, going back to like not getting the fuckets, right? Like, I had to table this, but I want to go back to that because you said not getting the fuckets. Like, in my head, I'm thinking like just do the next right thing, right? Because the next right thing is a form of discipline. And like that kind of puts you on if you're looking at like it as a spectrum, it's like the fuck it spectrum versus, and sorry, my hands are here and here. There's the fuck it spectrum, and then there's like the right thing to do spectrum, right? Or the ends. And so maybe, I don't know, I guess I have to take what you said and put it in a visual chart for myself to understand.
Well, earlier on in my sobriety, the fuckets would creep up, like in my head, the little voice in my head, like fuck it, would creep up more often than now. I think, now that I have a little more time, I'm not hearing those little fuckets anymore. But like I said, it's been my personality, like throughout my drinking, throughout just everything, getting housework done, getting work done, like it's my personality. It comes like I have to fend that off every day. I mean, like I said, not as much now and right now, but earlier on in my recovery, like I have to work on that. Yeah, every day. Like,
Do you guys make lists?
do the
If
next whole thing.
I do better.
Yeah.
What's that?
Tons of lists.
If I find that if I have a singular, it's a like a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and it just literally says to do, and there's a tab of it, right? I find that if I make that list, and especially if I put it in priority, the top of my list is always Bible, bed, big book, meds.
BBB.
Bible, bed, big book, meds. That's all in the one top box to check off. And if I skip on any one of those, I don't allow myself to check that box off. And then everything else comes after that.
Right.
And it creates a visual for me of what the priority is in my life. And if I make making up my bed, goofy as it sounds, right? Bible, big book, bed, meds. If I make that my priority number one, everything else I've tricked myself into thinking is going to fall into place. Whether it's true or not, it's almost not even my business. But once I do those right things in the very beginning, everything else does feel like it falls into place. Does that mean that I get everything done on my list? No, absolutely not. I just carry it over to the next day. But at the next day, the top of the list is those 4 things: my bed, my Bible, my big book, my prayer, and then my meds. And then I go on from there.
Speaking of bed, I think it's James's bedtime. We better wrap this up.
Oh yeah, it's 8:30, man. Yeah.
What?
That's a daily discipline, my friend. Honestly,
Oh.
like I started tracking my sleep when I went into treatment because I was like, you haven't slept in like 12 years. And so I'm like, you need to start
Enough.
waking up at 5 a.m. And so I just figured what's like a good amount of sleep for me. So Sebastian, just to touch real quick though on what you said about being disciplined is like, and having the fuck it's is almost being like natural. I think that's pretty, I just want to say that I feel that way myself. I think that's probably a pretty common thing for people with the ism to have a problem with. I've always felt that way, and so yeah, it's something that
Still a character defect of mine. Still working on it.
yeah, I feel that, and I think that's that's why they talk about like willingness and shit being like indispensable, right? Because like being willing to just do all these little things that just seem like they won't work, but it's like I'll try anything because I can't go back to like where I was, and then eventually, it snowballs, becomes a habit or practice, and then ultimately it tricked me into like having a contact with a higher power, so it's been working out, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, everything was so fucking difficult in early recovery, and I've learned, when I was starting to get back into work and shit, and I was just like, God, man, I could not motivate myself to fucking leave the house. And I just, this is where the patience comes in, where just like, I can't complete all of this stuff in one day. I'll just start chipping away at it. And then, after a week out, then it just started building momentum now where I, I have, I was so low, and self-esteem and everything else. But, I get such a sense of pride when I even have a small task that I do. And I'm just like, I'm proud of myself. Keep it fucking going. And I can see the moment, like you were saying, you see the momentum building. I mean, it's like fucking going to the gym, dude. Like, I did not want to do that shit. And I'm just learning to enjoy not doing the shit that I don't want to do. I had to reframe it mentally, and it sucks, but I'm enjoying it because I'm making myself do these fucking things.
Cash out.
7.
Yeah.
7 by
I'm the 7 too. Feel better. Now I gotta drive home.
T-Bone, Pamela.
$1 black chip off the table. That's what I'm taking off tonight.
So a 10?
10. Yes.
10. Nice. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Pamela.
T-Bone?
I'm a good 9.
Good
9.5. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey.
Oh.
Huh?
Bflo?
I'm a 9, man. It's I get to hang out with you guys and met Pamela, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm a 9 too because of y'all. Was a 7 when we started. Now I'm a 9. Pamela, thanks so much. Really nice to meet you, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Right Size Living. Thank you guys for participating, and most of all, thank you listeners for your attention. We hope you found this interesting and will join us again soon. Goodbye.